Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're so glad to have you joining us here today. We want to give a few seconds for everybody to join in, but I'll just go ahead and get us started. We're excited to have our new buyer orientation. Hopefully you've been planning and getting ready for market. It is, if you're not counting down, 23 days away to opening day of spring market. So we're excited to have you joining us today and soon here in High Point in just a few weeks. Quick introductions for you. I have on the screen here with me my colleague Jessica Wynn. She is our Director of Guest Experience. I'm Ashley Grigg, Vice President of Strategic Growth and Partnerships. And joining us behind the scenes here today and making all the magic happen, we have Lindsay Martin, our Manager of Communications. So you've got a good team here today. We're excited to guide you through a lot of information. We've got some logistics. We've got some tips. We're going to talk about what you need to be doing to get ready for market. We're going to talk about the resources that are here for you when you get to High Point. And of course, we're going to answer your questions when we get towards the end if we haven't already. So hope you hang in there with us. We've got 60 minutes and a lot to talk about. So let's go ahead and jump in. First, quick note on Q&A. If you have a question and you want to go ahead and submit it, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen as opposed to the chat, because that's what we'll be looking at in the end when we're ready for that part of today's program. Before we get to the slides and all the information that we have, I do have a quick poll. So Lindsay, if you can go ahead and pull that up, we will ask some quick questions. Everybody in the room could just answer those questions real fast. We want to get a gauge of who's joining us today and where you are at with the planning process, where you're tuning in from. So go ahead and answer those questions. Lindsay, looks like everybody's answered that. Go ahead and throw those answers up on the screen. Right, let's see those answers, if you can throw those up there. Awesome. Okay, so who we have joining us here today, looks like we have a lot of designers with us, which is great. We've got some retailers kind of all across the board, some e-commerce, home stagers, realtors, others. That's great. We love hearing a varied group coming, and we are happy to answer all of your questions, hopefully they're applicable across the board. So thank you for that poll, Lindsay. Appreciate you putting that up. And let's jump to some fun facts. If you're not super familiar with market in general, here's some fun facts that you might not know, and also just a little bit of information to help you understand how big market actually is here in High Point. Something we've tried to create comparatives because it's unlike any other trade show you may have been to, but just to give you a visual, the amount of showroom space here at High Point Market is equal to 201 football fields. So sports fans, hopefully that helps you visualize exactly how big that is. We have 12 million square feet of showroom space here, and Jessica's going to show you the map later. This is not a trade show in a convention center with small booths. This is 13 city blocks and about 180 buildings. So a lot of fun ahead of you as you get here to market, but it is really big, and you're going to hear later insider tips. We're going to definitely, several people said, wear your comfortable shoes because you're going to do a lot of walking. Another fun fact, in an average market, so we do have a lot of free transportation. Jessica's going to talk about that in a minute, but in an average market, our transportation system takes over 150,000 trips. We are actually one of the largest transportation systems in the state of North Carolina when we're active, which is only April and October when market is happening. So we have a lot of ways and a great system in place to move you around market. So don't be worried that it's 13 city blocks. We're going to get you to where you need to go. Another fun fact, even if you had been to market before, the next time that you come back, you're going to notice things have changed. Every showroom looks a little bit differently. You might have gotten familiar with a floor inside one of the larger buildings and say, I don't think that wall was there last time. it actually might not have been. There is construction happening here in the market district year round to get ready for each spring and fall market. The construction happening in the IHFC building alone, which is our largest building, but just one of the buildings, equal to building 1,200 single family homes. So the exhibitors that we have here, we have almost 2,000 exhibitors. They're doing a lot of work to get ready for you to come and have an amazing experience in their showroom. So that's a fun fact too. And then of course, appropriately with market starting on Earth Day this year, we take recycling seriously, and we've worked with the city of High Point to make sure that we can do that on a consistent basis. The city of High Point actually recycles over 500 tons of cardboard each market. I've actually been to their facility. I have seen the mounds of cardboard, and it's an amazing process that they have to get all that recycled, but we definitely are very conscientious of that. So just to start off with some fun facts, but we'll keep going with some logistics and tips for you. If you haven't seen this on our website, or if you're like me and you love a good checklist, then this is something that you can find on our website. You can scan right here to get the QR code. I also am going to be sending you an email afterwards that has a bunch of links to our website that we're going to talk about today. But this is essentially what we're going to walk you through today, the trip planning checklist. So what you should be doing in advance to get ready, looking at travel planning, looking at schedule planning, all of those things. We're about to talk you through it, but I did want to let you know there is a fun checklist on our website that you can utilize for that. The very first thing at the top of this list is, are you registered? And so if you're not, or if you haven't registered all of your team, just one quick reminder to go in and do that on our website, highpointmarket.org, and you just right at the top, click the register button. You're going to want to do that in advance so that you can mail your pass and you don't have to stand in line when you get here. Or if you do it after the pass and mail deadline, we're going to send you a QR code so you can go to one of our convenient scan and go desks as opposed to having to wait in line and have somebody look you up. We're really trying to be efficient with the process. So that pass and mail deadline is coming up next Friday, April 7th. So if you haven't registered, this is your homework. As soon as this is over, go to the website, start that process, get you registered, and make sure you register your team too, and we'll mail the pass to you. You won't even have to go to a registration desk when you get here. All right, first thing we're going to do, I'm going to bring Jessica back up, and she's going to talk a little bit about your travel planning.
Thanks, Ashley, and hello, everybody. Again, I'm Jessica Wynn. I'm the Director of Guest Experience, and I'm here to talk logistics and getting you to High Point Market. So the first step in travel planning that we, the Market Authority, always recommend is getting with our travel concierge. Travel Quest Inc. is based here locally. They are official market travel concierge. They know market and they know the area like the back of their hand. So we really want guests to lean on them to be able to plan all of their travel logistics. The customer service that comes with Travel Quest Inc. is amazing, and it is actually extremely affordable. Many people think, oh, travel concierge, that costs money. It's actually free of charge to our market guests. There is just a nominal fee if you're booking your airline tickets through Travel Quest, and it's $25. Everything else is completely complimentary. So the customer service that you get along with that is unbeatable. If your flight gets canceled, Travel Quest is letting you know before you know. If you get to market and you don't love your hotel, Travel Quest is support on the ground to help you change hotels. Whatever travel problems you may have, Travel Quest is there. So we really recommend that our guests, especially if it's your first time to market, go through Travel Quest Inc. just to take the burden off. But if you would rather DIY, definitely have some DIY folks out there, we have options for you too. So we have an online booking tool on our website. And actually, this is through Travel Quest as well. So you can go onto our website. We have our online booking tool. You can book your hotel yourself through this link, and you get Travel Quest's customer service with this booking tool. All of the hotels that are in this booking tool have a hotel shuttle. And I'll get to the shuttles here in a little bit, but all of the hotels within this link, we service with our hotel shuttles. So this is a great resource. If you'd rather DIY, you want to take the guesswork out of picking your hotel, this link is a great link. We service almost 100 hotels. It depends market to market as hotels change. But we service almost 100 hotels in the Greensboro, Winston, Archdale, Kernersville surrounding area to High Point. So we get you to market from all of those places. So there's so many options that fit your budget, your time frames, how close you want to stay to market, how far you want to stay from market. The options are really endless. So make sure you check TravelQuest out or that online booking tool. Next, now that you've booked your hotel, it's time to book your flight. So again, TravelQuest can do this for you for a nominal fee, but you could certainly do it yourself. So we service 3 different regional airports with our free airport shuttles. One of the questions that we got leading up to this webinar, you all had a chance to submit some questions. One question was, do I need to rent a car? We try to make it to where you don't have to rent a car. We want to make it as seamless as possible, as affordable as possible. It can already be expensive to travel here. So we want to take as much of that burden off as we can. So if you fly into Greensboro, Raleigh, or Charlotte, you can kind of see that map there on the screen. That little star is High Point. So those are the distances from the airports. The Greensboro PTI airport, extremely close to High Point. So great if you're running tight on time, but it is a smaller airport. And so sometimes you find more affordable fares or more flights at Raleigh or Charlotte. That's totally okay. We'll get you from those airports as well. So we service free shuttles from PTI Greensboro every hour on the hour. And Charlotte and Raleigh, we run shuttles 6 times daily from those airports. So plenty of options to fit your schedule. Those shuttles will drop you off in the transportation terminal in the heart of market. For reservations for Charlotte and Raleigh, airport shuttle reservations are required. So you're going to want to make sure that you book those in advance. PTI reservations are not required. Raleigh and Charlotte are. So you can do that on our website, booking those hotel airport shuttle reservations. That can be found on our website. You can easily do that. When you do that, they'll ask you certain information like your flight number, how many companions you're traveling with. This information is so that we can make sure that we have the right equipment. That's why reservations are so important. We need to know if there's 100 people coming in from a flight from Charlotte so we can send the right amount of buses. And we ask for flight numbers because if your flight is being delayed, we might be able to hold the bus to make sure that you get to High Point on time to make your appointments. So those airport shuttle reservations are so important. You can make your reservation up to 7 p.m. the day before. If it's after 7 p.m. the day before you need your ride, you need to call 887-RIDE. That's our transportation command center, and you can talk to somebody about getting a reservation manually that way. But 7 p.m. the day before is when that online portion will cut off. Okay. And so that's really how to get to High Point. Now we're going to talk about the next stage in planning before you get to High Point is planning out your schedule. And Ashley's going to kind of go over that with you.
Thanks, Jess. I appreciate it. And the insider tip, I hear it a lot in terms of those airport reservations. Go ahead when you're making your reservation to get here, make your reservation for your return so that you don't have to worry about your information. Thanks, Jess. So now that we're moving along on the checklist, you've registered, you've got your travel locked in, you know what days you're going to be here. There's some pre-planning that we recommend that you do for your schedule. So there's a lot of components. There's a lot to do when you get here to market. It's not just coming and seeing product, although that's a large part of it, but we also have incredible networking opportunities and dozens of educational opportunities that you can. So if you need CEUs, if you just don't have it in the budget to go to a conference at another point in the year, we have more education than you'd find in any conference. So make make sure that you have enough time in your schedule to be in the showrooms, and then also take advantage of the education and the networking. As you're looking at your schedule and you're starting to plan it out, the first thing I want you to do, so more homework for you, is to sign up for a My Market account. You can do that on our website. You can do that via our app, but go ahead and get a My Market account, because then you're able to make a personalized list of the showrooms and the events that you want to visit and attend while you're here at market. So I'm going to go through exhibitors and events in a minute, but I wanted you to know, as you're searching that on the website, you're going to see a little star next to the events. You're going to see a little star next to exhibitor names. When you see that, that's for My Market. So if this is a place that you want to visit when you're here in High Point, then just click that star and boom, it goes right onto your personalized list that you can access both on our website. Like I would search on our website with filtering, just because I would want to be at my desktop for that, but then I'd have it in the app when I'm here, so I have it on the go as well. So that's something you're going to want to do just to make it easier. You can do the spreadsheets, you could do the color coding, or you can just do it right here in My Market. That would be a lot easier for you. All right, let's move to the next slide and look at schedule planning, what to see when you're here, which showrooms to visit, and how in the world are you going to decide that? So first thing I want you to do is go to the website, click on our exhibitor directory, and start to look through those. We have a pretty impressive filtering system to drill down to exactly what you're looking for. So you can see some examples here. You can sort by category, you can sort by style. If you need to, you can sort by price point. Some of the options that we have would be, is it container only? Is it designer friendly? Is it green, which would be sustainable? Is it made in the USA? There's plenty of those special cases in that options. You can sort by building or by neighborhoods. And Jessica's going to show you the map of the neighborhoods later, and you're going to see that as an insider's tip. You might want to work market in the various neighborhoods, and that's where you plan out your itinerary for each day. So if you're in a neighborhood and you realize that you have an extra hour before you have to be at the next event that you want to go to, come in here, search up the exhibitors that are in the neighborhood that you want to be in, add a few more filters, and there you have a list of some things you can look at. Other areas of interest, country of origin, lots of options in here. Make sure that you go and do some research before you get here for exhibitor directory. Other ways that you can know which exhibitors to go to. If you really are starting fresh, certainly encourage you to use our exhibitor filter. We do have almost 2,000 exhibitors to pick from, but you can also be watching the trade publications. There's a lot of High Point Market information out there. We're putting out press releases. Exhibitors are putting out press releases. They're talking about their new product launches coming up. Other people, influencers, are talking about their market itineraries. Keep an eye on the trade pubs. Keep an eye on social. There's a lot of information out there that you can quickly find to start to figure out which exhibitors you want to go to. And one of the questions that we did see submitted during the registration process, several of you were asking about setting appointments with the exhibitors. How do you go about doing that? It is a little different for each exhibitor in terms of how they want to do that, but the place to start would be pulling up these exhibitor profiles in our system and then looking at the contact information that they've shared in there. It might be that you have to go to their website and look for it, or they've shared a phone number. There could be some information in their description on how to do that, but they should have a way that they've, however they want the trade contacts coming to them to set up an appointment. So that should be in there. So once you've decided what exhibitors you're going to go see, we also want you looking at the event calendar and deciding what to attend. So see the gaps in your day, or maybe you want to figure out the events you want to attend, and then you'll see the gaps for when you have time for showroom visits, however you want to work that out. We also have a good filtering system on our website for events as well. So you can see some examples here of that. You can filter by day. You can filter by educational or social. You can filter by neighborhood. So same thing. If you just finished up an appointment and you want to see if there were any events taking place within the next hour in the neighborhood that you're in, you can go ahead and do that right there. Or if you know that there's a certain speaker, I know that they're speaking at market, but I don't remember where, there's even a search bar at the top where you can start to just type in their name and it'll pop up to show you that. So that's on our website as well. Real quick, let me run down the featured events that we have coming up for spring market. We have our keynote series on opening day of market. We're very excited about this. We have this amazing lineup coming to the theater. That is, oh, we got an edit there. That is 2:00 in the High Point Theater, but it is Saturday, April 22nd. And the High Point Theater is right in the transportation terminal. So where all the shuttles drop off, that's where you're going to access this great event. So that's a little business. And then in the evening, we also have a really fun concert right there in center stage, which is next to the terminal. We've got En Vogue going on the stage Saturday night at 7:00. We hope you join us for that. Sunday, we also have an amazing keynote lined up. Hope you'll come see Ashley and Chad Stark. That is Sunday at 3:00. And then if you also want to join us for the concert, we have Chris Jansen at center stage. That is business a little on those days. We also have a great lineup of tours. And so you'll see on the next slide here, we've got hotspot tours. These are product category specific 1-hour tours where you're going to hit 2 showrooms with a host. And so you can look on our website, see where those are going, but it breaks it down to various product categories, which is very helpful depending on what you're coming here to shop at market. That's a great way to see some brands in a category you're familiar with, but maybe you're not so familiar with the showrooms that they're going to visit. This is a good chance to go and check out some new opportunities there. Our insiders tour is still available. If you're not signed up for that, this is completely dedicated to you all as new buyers. And so these are a bit longer tours. We have 3 or 4 tours on Friday of market that are half day. So if you want to come the afternoon of Friday and dedicate a half day, you can have a tour guide walk you around some of their favorite showroom spots. They're going to be telling you their tips, what they've learned throughout the years of them working market. Or on Saturday, if you want to dedicate a full day and be able to see more showrooms, then we have 5 tours on Saturday that will go from 8:30 all the way till 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening. You'll really get a good understanding of the market district, some of the various showrooms and buildings that are around. It is probably one of the tours that we get the most feedback on because of its helpfulness. So if you can dedicate some of your trip coming and you're not currently signed up, it is open to you as a new buyer. So you'll find that on our website. The deadline to apply for that, and you do have to apply because it's for new buyers only, and we have to qualify that, is also next Friday, April 7th. So if you want to do that, go ahead and get that submitted right after this webinar, and we will get you lined up with a tour guide. We also have a new tour this market. This is part of our DEI initiative. We have a Diversity Advocacy Alliance, and they will be doing a DEI focused tour on Sunday of market. All that information is on the website. And then even as you're going through the event calendar, you're going to see some other tours mentioned. There are several groups that do tours. Design on High Point Market does several tours within the IMC owned buildings. And so all of that is on the event calendar. Just watch out for that RSVP required button. When you see that on the event calendar, make sure you sign up when that is required. Next slide, you'll see the point mentioned. Jessica's going to talk about that a little bit too when she gets to on-site resources, but we do have a daily schedule at the point. It is there for you. You're welcome to use it. And it's not just education. We also have some great networking in the evening. So check out the event calendar for that. There's a lot of great resources on buyers at the point. And if you aren't checking out our website, or if you want to know more, and also we're sending this in emails, but if you prefer to look on social for your information, we're putting that information out daily at this point. So make sure that you follow us on social. We've got all of these channels feeding you market information, feeding you the news you need to know. I also recommend that you, on Instagram, you can follow the hashtag HPMKT so that you can see what other people are posting about their market happenings or where they're going. That's also a really fun hashtag to be watching during market, because it's thousands of posts every day of just beautiful imagery and smiling faces as market is happening and going on. So definitely make sure that if you're on social that you're following us there. Okay, so now we've gone through the planning process, your travel planning, your schedule planning, what you need to do before you get here to market. Let's shift a little bit, and I'm going to go back to Jessica and talk to you through some on-site resources once you're here.
Thanks, Ashley. And I've got the Q&A open because you guys have been asking a lot of great questions, and I'm about to go over a lot of it. So I've got this open just to make sure I don't miss anything. But the first thing we're going to talk about, first of all, I talked about how to plan to get to market. Now you're at market. You're at the airport. How do you get to High Point? So that airport shuttle that we mentioned before is going to drop you off in that transportation terminal. You can either check your bag and shop for the day before you hop on a hotel shuttle, or you can go straight to your hotel, schedule dependent, to, unwind and unpack. But we will take you from your hotel to and from market every day. We run 3 runs daily, and we currently service 89 regional hotels. I touched on that a little bit earlier. But 89 different hotels in the Triad region that we will get you to and from market every day. So that hotel shuttle schedule is on our website. Be sure to check that. If you book through that online booking tool or Travel Quest, you are probably on that hotel shuttle schedule. Check that for those runs to make sure that you're getting to market in time for your appointments and things like of that nature. So yeah. There's your hotel shuttle schedules. Park and ride. I believe somebody asked, what is the parking situation at market? Great question. There is parking downtown. It is very, very limited. If you're like me, searching for parking when I do have an appointment in an hour, that just gives me a lot of anxiety, and I don't want to deal with it. So if you did rent a car or you're just close enough to drive in, we do offer 2 park and ride lots. So those addresses are right there. And of course, everything that Ashley and I are going over today is on our website. But those GPS addresses are right there. You can park. We have one to the north and one to the south. Plenty of spaces. We will not run out. So do not worry about that. You can park there easy, stress-free, and hop on a shuttle to take you to downtown High Point. If you need a handicap accessible vehicle, you can call this number 336-887-RIDE. Again, I'm going to bring this number up a lot. You're going to want to jot that one down. That's to our transportation command center, and they will get a handicap accessible vehicle dispatched to you. So if you need that at all, definitely check that out. Let me make sure I don't have any other questions about parking before I move forward. Okay, I think, yes, we're good to move forward. Transportation, more transportation is the downtown showroom shuttles. Ashley mentioned 201 football fields and 13 city blocks. That is a lot, and nobody should have to walk that. Other trade shows that are a little more typical have 1 to 2 large buildings, and there's a rug floor and a lamp floor, maybe an upholstery wing. Market is not like that. We are very spread out, and we are not categorically organized, which can be a lot on the feet, but it is awesome to explore. So we have that red line and green line. That is shuttles that are going to take you all around the district. And you're not going to have to walk, 10 blocks, whatever. If you're in the mood to walk, by all means do it. But by your second, third day, your feet might be really tired. So make sure you're using that red line, green line shuttle. That ends at 8 p.m. every day. So throughout the day, you'll have a reliable ride around the downtown area. Okay. Our Go Anywhere shuttles. So we offer airport, hotel, all the way to downtown, a lot. But if you need to go to CVS, you need to go to a local restaurant, if you need to go somewhere that is not serviced by our downtown showroom shuttle or by our transportation system already, then there's the Go Anywhere shuttle. This Go Anywhere shuttle will take you anywhere within a 6-mile radius of the transportation terminal. Again, you just have to call 336-887-RIDE to have one dispatched to you. If you're in the downtown area, what will be faster to get one of these is going in the transportation terminal. When you get there, you'll see them all labeled. You're going to go to A1, or you can go to shuttle stop 14, and there will be a kiosk there where you can stand in line and wait for one. While this is an amazing service, because it's amazing, it's very popular. So sometimes the waits can be a little long. One question we got was, are there shuttles to Airbnbs, or should you call an Uber? So there is this Go Anywhere option. If your Airbnb is within a 6-mile radius of the downtown. However, because this service is so popular, the wait can be long. So depending on your situation, timing, etc., an Uber may be quicker for you. It just really depends on your schedule and what you need. Let's see. Other questions? I think we're good to move on. Lay of the land. So here's a map, those 13 city blocks. You are going, when you get to market, we have a information booth that's right in the middle of the terminal. We encourage you to walk up to it and grab one of these maps. It's going to be your map and transportation guide. It will be your Bible during market. So it has this map on it. It has that hotel shuttle schedule on it. It has the Go Anywhere information on it. That phone number I said that is super important is on there. So this is going to be a very important piece for you at market. And I'm just kind of like roughly go over it to give you, again, a lay of the land. So this is a key of all the buildings. You'll see on the map a giant showroom listing. Some other things to note on this map is the color coding. What's the color coding? We have split market up into 7 neighborhoods. Those neighborhoods are to help you organize this huge landscape into chunks. So Ashley kind of went over how to sort exhibitors and events on our website. Neighborhoods is one of those filters. So if you have an event that you want to go to in Hamilton Ren North, and you decide, oh, that event is going to take up a large portion of my afternoon. Let me just spend the day in this neighborhood. Who else can I explore in this neighborhood? What cool exhibitors are there? What food? Maybe I can grab lunch in this neighborhood. What food is available in this area? You can really plan your day or certain chunks of your day by neighborhood. Based on whether it's raining or not. IHFC pro tip, you can walk into IHFC, and once you get here, you'll really understand what this means, but you can walk into IHFC, use sky bridges, and only have to cross the street outside once, and you end up at the other end of the street at Sweets at Market Square when you come out. So a lot of people do this interior building route when it's raining, and they save something like Hamilton Ren North or some of the other neighborhoods for sunnier days when it's better for window shopping. So you can really drill down into each neighborhood. Each neighborhood has its own characteristics, their own vibe, if you will. So you really get a taste of what each one has to offer. They're all very different, but all have amazing stuff. So that's kind of the neighborhoods. You see the red line and green line and how that intersects with everything. When you are on the ground at market, each of those shuttle stops has a sign that tells you where you are, what the other shuttle stops are, what other showrooms are at those shuttle stops. So the wayfinding signage is also super helpful once you're on the ground as well. A few guest services to know on this map. Obviously, one of the biggest questions that we get asked is food. Where can I get something to eat? And so you'll see those fork and knives spread out throughout the map. Those are where dining locations are within the market district. One question that we got ahead of time was, what should I expect to buy food versus what food is offered in the showrooms? That's a great question. We sometimes make the joke internally. If you're buying food at market, you're doing it wrong. So many showrooms offer catering and awesome lunches and awesome breakfasts, dinners, coffees, etc. But you may not want to hang out in all of the showrooms and eat lunch all day. So if you don't, there's also plenty of food trucks, dining inside the buildings, things of that nature. So definitely check our website out. We have a food and dining page that breaks market all of those dining locations down. The fork and knife is really what's most effective for this map, but that website goes into detail about what vendor is where, hours of operation, menu, dietary restrictions, whether they're gluten-free, dairy-free, etc. And we also on that dining page put things that are around the city of High Point. So outside of this market district, we also do Greensboro and Winston because you may be staying at a hotel there and you want to see if you can get dinner on your way home. So that is that food page is definitely something to check out. When you pick up this map and transportation guide, there will be a QR code to scan to take you to that food page. So you can bring it up on your phone whenever you need. Industry resources is listed on the map. These are things that are not showrooms, but might be of interest to you. So feel free to check those out. The Home Furnishings Hall of Fame, the Bean and Stock Furniture Library, things of that nature that are more industry attractions rather than showrooms. The Market Medical Unit. So that is going to be right outside the transportation terminal on the backside of the hotel. Thank you for circling that with the mouse. The Market Medical Unit is an awesome resource if your feet hurt, you need Band-Aids, you have blisters, you need to get something checked out, you have a headache, they have Tylenol, any kind of minor medical needs, they can handle at that Market Medical Unit. There are nurses that work there for us. Great staff. If you are having a heart attack, I'm going to need you to call 911. But we have an awesome EMS bike team on site driving around market all the time. They'll be able to get to you quickly. So minor medical things, please see that Market Medical Unit. Emergencies, call 911. Information centers, you'll see little eyes on this map. Those are our info booths. These are great resources for anybody looking. You're lost, you have the map, but it's still your first time. It can be a little confusing. Stop at one of these info booths and get some more help. We also have rovers. So 13 city blocks is a lot of space to cover. So I actually have information staff walking around market looking for people that need help. So info staff will be in blue shirts. Look for folks in blue shirts, khaki or black pants. They're walking around to help. They're in the terminal to help. They're at these info booths to help. Please utilize them. Scooter rental. I mentioned if you needed a handicap accessible vehicle, we would get that dispatched to you. Once you get to the terminal, we have a scooter rental kiosk counter that's right outside the theater. For mobility reasons, if you need a scooter to get around, you can rent it there. We encourage you to make reservations through our website, but they do have on-site availability if a last minute need were to arise. The transportation terminal, let's point that out for a second. Everybody here's a new buyer, right? So all those shuttles that you're taking are going to drop you off in that transportation terminal. That's really the hub, the center of market, and everything kind of extends for that. So that's an important location to really understand. Center stage is right across the street from that. Ashley mentioned some of those awesome concerts. We have that is at our center stage location, which is right across the street from the terminal. You'll see the large tents and stage. Not only are those concerts there, but when you're grabbing a bite to eat at food trucks, or you just need a place to sit down for a little while, that space is open during the day for you to be able to do so. The International Buyer Center. I know we have a few people from Canada on the line today. The International Buyer Center is going to be where you register, and it's a place for you to check in every day if you need it. A home away from home for international buyers. International travel can be hard enough. And so we want to make you comfortable. We have lunch out of that space for you, money exchange, translation services, anything that an international buyer might need is in that center. So please check that out. Travel Quest also manages that for us. So if you're on the ground, maybe you decided you didn't need Travel Quest after this webinar, but maybe at market you've changed your mind. That is okay. Travel Quest is on site and they can help you out. Media Link, if you're a member of the press, that is where you would go for that. It's also in the theater on the second level above the International Buyer Center. And then the registration locations. You'll see reg sprinkled out throughout the map. We have, Ashley will have to correct me on this. I believe it's 14 reg locations now that our current count is at. And so you do not have to start market in that transportation terminal hub. You may start market in certain neighborhoods and, based on your appointments, things like that, those registration locations are all listed on that map for your convenience. We really want you to register in advance. You're going to avoid lines. You'll avoid on-site registration fees, things of that nature. But if you've lost your pass, we'll reprint that for free. And that can happen at all of those registration locations. So make sure you're checking those out. And then the point it's so tiny on this little map, but if you'll circle it with the mouse, yes. It's right next to the transportation terminal too. So again, that's a spot for new buyers to go, anyone to go, but to relax, charge your phone, grab a bite to eat. It's a great resource. So please do that. One question I have here is, do each of the neighborhoods have similar categories and vendors and manufacturers? What a great question. So yes and no. Right? What a great answer. So different neighborhoods have different situations. A lot of them do have very similar ones. Like, for example, almost all of the neighborhoods are going to have some kind of upholstery and they're going to have some kind of case goods. That's a very simplified answer. But different neighborhoods have different, like, for example, Centennial Rent South, which is this blue one down here to the right. Yes, thank you. That neighborhood has some hidden gems in it, like Schwung Home, Varellen, things of that nature. But that's very retail focused. So if you're a retailer, there's some great vendors down there to check out. Now, there's great vendors for retailers throughout Market, but there are a lot down there. Centers of High Point is a great property to check out, great campus of buildings. Whereas if you go north to Hamilton Run North, that one is much more designer oriented, high-end upholstery. 200 North Hamilton building is great to check out. 200 Steel is a wonderful building to check out. And so they all have similar categories, but the vendors, the differences between the vendors, it really just depends on the neighborhood. But if you need any help when you're making your market plan, kind of sorting through that, be sure to call our main line, 336-869-1000, to get help with a market advisor, really drilling down into each neighborhood, some vendors that might work for you. So let's see. Do any info on average, estimated range of cost of food on site? That's a good question too. So if you're in that showroom, a lot of those lunches are complimentary, breakfasts are complimentary. Food truck meals can average anywhere between $10 to, it depends. Sometimes, if you have a lobster truck, it could be $18 for a lobster roll. But if you have something more like a burger, that can be a lot more affordable than seafood, right? So I think the range is anywhere from like $18 to $20, depending on what you're doing, food truck wise. If you're looking at local restaurants and things like that, costs can really vary. But can you please mention again the phone number? Yes. So our office phone number is 336-869-1000. And you can ask for a market advisor who can really help you drill down to all of this information, help you make a plan. If you're looking for that on-site phone number for the command center, that's going to be 336-887-RIDE. Okay. Come across others I don't see. Absolutely. So this map right here that I have on the screen, I have a question about where a specific showroom is. This screenshot that you see on this screen is really just for this webinar. There is a much more detailed version of this map on our website. I actually approved it this morning, so it should be live any moment now. But it has that showroom listing on it. But I'm glad you brought up this example. So talking about reading the map, for example, you asked about Eastern Accents. Eastern Accents is within Suites at Market Square. What you're going to see on this map is Suites at Market Square. There's over 400 tenants in Suites at Market Square. And so to make the map effective, I can't list all 400 people, all 400 manufacturers. So you'll see the building Suites at Market Square. However, you can use that High Point Market app, which I'll get to here in a few minutes, to look up where Eastern Accents is. You'll see that it's in Suites at Market Square, and then you can find Suites at Market Square on the map. Now, if you're in the app, you can also GPS navigate yourself to Suites at Market Square as well. So, you know, if they bought a building, if they're an individual building, you'll be able to find them. But IHFC, for example, there's several hundred exhibitors in there. So on the map, you'll just see IHFC. So you'll have to use the app. And there's lots of printed guides as well with that information as to where individual exhibitors are within those multi-tenant buildings, if that makes sense. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. Ooh, good question about, is there a tool to help you viewing exhibitors and events that you have favored on the map and putting them in efficient order to help you with your schedule? Yes, I'll get to that in just a second. Okay, let's move on. So the point, I think someone earlier said, I missed what was for the new buyers. Wait, go back. We're going to go over it again. Ashley briefly touched on the point. This is a pop-up venue that we do in the middle of the closed street on Commerce Avenue. So when you get into the transportation terminal, you get dropped off, you're going to look over and you're going to see a big sign that says The Point. And that is this on-site resource that we strongly encourage you to utilize. So the point is for everybody. All buyers are welcome at the point. But new buyer wise, we have our market advisors assistants in there. So that 336-869-1000 number, you can call that now to get market advisor help. But during market, you can come here to get market advisor help. Sometimes when you go to an info booth, it can be very quick. Where's this? Where's that? You answer. But if you need to sit down and really spread the map out and get another look at the lay of the land with somebody, this is a great place to do it. These people are trained to help you create a plan, get you where you need to go, teach you how to use the app if maybe you're a little confused about that. So this is a great resource for new buyers and old buyers alike. One roundtable that we're doing in the point this time for these new buyers is the Cool Girls Guide to Market. So it's on Friday at 2 p.m. Definitely check that out. It's going to be a great roundtable on the best way to work market, some cool places to visit during market. We run a trade show. We are not designers. We're not market attendees. And so this roundtable will really give you the perspective of how to work market from a designer or an attendee's point of view. New buyer networking is right after that on Friday, and on Monday it is from 5 to 7. So you can go to the point, meet other new buyers and get their perspective, their experience, and things like that. Hours of operation for the point are going to be Friday, April 21st through Tuesday, April 25th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then on Wednesday, it's open until noon. So be sure to check that out. Let's see, if I'm looking for mattresses, for example, are they all in one area? They're not. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry, but they are not. But that's why that app is really important. That's why making that market plan is really important. And again, you can always go to the point, and a market advisor can help you find through a category, mark down the places you want to go, and help you create that plan on site too. That was a good question. The High Point Market app. It's probably what we keep talking about a lot. I saw one question earlier, is it for iOS only? Right now it is, but before market, we are going to release it for Android. We're extremely excited about that. That is some feedback we've gotten for a long time, and we're finally able to make it happen. So right now, during this webinar, you can only download this for Android, but before market, you will be able to download it for Android. I'm sorry, you can only do it for Apple right now. But before market, you'll be able to download it for Android. as Ashley said, you're going to make that plan ahead of time, and then you're going to log into the app, and that plan that you made is going to appear here in the app. So great resource for on-site. You can edit your plan once you bring it up on the app. You can add to it. You can take notes. One thing we find a lot is that people often forget who they saw. You see a lot during market. It's kind of like a deer in the headlights. It's great, but it's over before you know it, and you're struggling to remember what product you saw at one location that you loved, et cetera. You can take notes within the app so that you can remember things like that. That GPS tracking, that GPS navigation between showrooms is definitely key. So if you're confused as to how to get from IHFC to 200 Steel, you can GPS navigate that in the app, and it'll get you walking directions. Of course, you can always hop on the red line and take shuttle stop 17. But if you'd rather walk, that will navigate you everywhere. So it's a really, really useful tool. That QR code is how to download it for Apple, and we'll be sending out a ton of communications once it's available for Android as well. So yeah, go to the next one. Insider tips. So for this, I am going to kick it over to Ashley. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that Q&A though. And of course, we're going to have Q&A more at the end of the webinar.
Thanks, Jessica. That was a lot of really helpful information, and the questions were flying in Q&A. I was behind the scenes typing away to all of you, so thank you for all those questions, and keep them coming if you have more. There's a lot of details that Jessica and I just shared with you, but truthfully, we've never walked market like a buyer. And so I didn't think that this orientation would be complete without reaching out to some designers and others that we know work market on a regular basis, have been in your shoes before as the newbie, but I reached out to them and said, what are some top tips that you would have for those new buyers coming to market for the first time? And so we've got 6 here. I want to run down those real quick for you. You will start to see some patterns, and we've already touched on a few of them, but Kelly Collier-Clark, if you're not familiar with her, she has her top 3 must for attending market. Download the app, which of course we just talked about. Wear comfy shoes, and I highly recommend that. We say fashionable from the ankles up, although most designers that I see are way more fashionable than me and done a great job of finding also fashionable, comfortable shoes. And then create an agenda, which of course we have talked about. Plan ahead. That is going to really help you. But she says, plan ahead with an agenda, any panels or events that interest you. Be really intentional about networking too. So we haven't said at this point, I don't think we've said bring your business cards, but I highly recommend you do that. Of course, a lot of people are moving digital business cards. That's fine. You may want to have both options, because some people will like to make notes on the business cards when it's printed. Of course, the digital is also great. So Stacy Garcia, she's a great interior designer, but also has some product here at market. She says, wear sneakers. So again, seeing that pattern. But I do love, she says, don't schedule every minute of your trip. And so market's huge, a lot of ground to cover. So definitely go for comfort, but resist the urge to schedule every minute of your time. And she's exactly right with that. Although I do highly encourage you to plan. You're certainly, as you walk around market, you're going to discover new resources that you were not familiar with. You know, the neighbors of the showroom that you had an appointment to go see might pique your interest, and you want to go in there. Make sure that you do leave some wiggle room in your schedule to be able to accommodate that as well. I had somebody in the Q&A ask, well, how many showrooms should I put on my schedule for the day? Which is a great question. And unfortunately, there's not a magic answer, but just know it depends on how you're coming, what you're coming to market for. If you're coming to actually place orders, that's an appointment within a showroom that is going to take longer, because you're actually picking out product, you're doing specification. If you're coming just to get a general sense of the product offering of an exhibitor, you're going to go in, you're going to take pictures of the product, or you're going to do the scanning feature that they may have where you can pick your favorites and then they put that together for you. That's not as long of an appointment. And so it's really how you want to do your showroom appointments or visits, and that will kind of determine how much time you're going to spend with any showroom. This market is going to be very much a learning curve for you, just figuring out exactly how you want to do those showroom appointments. So schedule a few, maybe 4 to 6, and then give yourself some time within your schedule to be flexible and do some exploration. The next slide, we have Cheryl Luckett, and she says High Point Market is so many things, which I agree with. It's an educational conference, it's a major networking event, and of course, shopping and sourcing destination. And don't forget inspiration too, which is something that we all need and want and crave. I love that she says, though, get clear about what you need market to be for you, based on where you are, based on your business, based on your goals. That's great advice. So really take time to reflect upon that and then schedule your marketing accordingly, and be really intentional to make sure that you are achieving your goals and you didn't go 4 days at market and didn't actually do exactly what you intended to come here because you got inspired and distracted by all the shiny, beautiful things around you. So great advice from Cheryl. Rachel Moriarty also says that she suggests not being super rigid with your schedule when attending. And like I said, super rigid, still do some planning, at least go into My Market and have a list of the places that you want to visit. Go ahead and sort that by neighborhood. And then know that even if you don't schedule appointments with them, that you have, these zones. I want to go to these 6 showrooms in this neighborhood, and then I'm going to hop over to this neighborhood. I've also heard designers or buyers that are coming, and they'll certainly have their list. I want to hit this itinerary one day and this itinerary one day, but they won't pick the exact day that they're going to do a certain neighborhood till they see the weather. Because if it's going to be rainy all day, maybe that's the day that you spend in the big buildings. Jessica mentioned there's some skywalks that can keep you dry as you're going between some of the buildings. So that's something. It's good not to be super rigid. Next slide, we have Jeannie Chung, and this is a popular tip that a lot of people learn after their first market. So we're going to give it to you beforehand, but of course you're going to take a lot of pictures. But what you don't want is for you to go back and look at those pictures 5-6 months from the time you were here and not remember in which showroom you took that picture or which exhibitor it was, and now it's a product that you want to use in a project. So make sure as you're walking into the showroom, take a picture of their sign. Then as you're walking around the showroom, take a picture of all the products and people that you want to. And then when you're leaving, I would suggest take a picture of the sign again. And then you've got this nice bookcased categorization of the products within that showroom, and then do the same thing when you move on to the next one. She also has a great suggestion about using the Notes app of her phone. You can insert the products there and make all the notes as you're walking around with the sales rep that you'll need for when you go back and want to order a product. Elizabeth Scruggs, she said, I can tell you one of the most simple things to do that didn't even occur to her the first time she came to market was, as we've been saying, schedule all your appointments each day by neighborhood and by building. You don't want to waste time and poor precious feet help make them hurt more than they need to by hopping around. It won't be very efficient use of your time. You'll use up a lot more time in the shuttles than in the showrooms. And while the shuttles are certainly there at your convenience, I would highly encourage you to do that sort feature that we have by neighborhood and bump that against not only your exhibitors, but events too. Find out where they all align within a certain neighborhood, and that's your schedule for the day. Great tips from those buyers. Certainly keep an eye on social, follow your favorite designers that come to High Point. A lot of them will be discussing their upcoming trips to High Point or putting out information. Follow that HPMKT hashtag, and you'll see a lot of that coming here in the next few weeks. So that's what we have. Let's jump back to the Q&A. I'm sure, Jessica, you have been in there, and I have while I've been talking, as I was when you were talking, but here we go. Can we buy any of the accessories or the pieces off the floor? That does vary by the various exhibitors. It depends. Some of them will sell the samples, others won't. Some in the Suites at Market Square, which is where all the temporaries are, there is some cash and carry, but it's really dependent upon the individual showroom. And so you'll just
our antique vendors. There are many antique vendors where the nature of antiques, you are in fact buying that one piece because it's kind. So for situations like that. So it really is, like Ashley said, dependent on vendor to vendor. Other questions?
Question that we had submitted earlier in the registration process, Janet had asked how many days should I put aside to come to market, which is such a tough question to answer, because I would say all of them. We also had some people asking about Friday. When you were talking, Jessica, and I was in the Q&A, some people were asking about Friday. Saturday is the official opening day of market, but all of the events and all of our transportation resources, those do start on Friday, and the great majority of showrooms open on Friday. So I like to call it a preview day. So really Friday through Wednesday is the availability for coming into market and having a great experience. The closer you get towards the end of market, if you're coming in on Wednesday, especially Wednesday afternoon, you're going to want to schedule appointments, because some of the sales reps may have already left, or some of the principals of the company, there just might not be as much staff in the showroom. But in terms of how many days, I would say a minimum of 3 days would be good if you can do 4, especially because your first market here, you're going to want to be doing a lot of exploration and really trying to understand. If you can do 5 days, I promise you won't be bored. You'll still have parts of market that you didn't get to. So it really depends on your schedule and availability, but don't try to do it in 1 or 2 days. You will be disappointed, and you'll be calling Lee and changing your flight, trying to stay longer.
Mm-hmm.
Great question, Meg, about the antique vendors. Where are they located? Where are they grouped? As Jessica mentioned, our market is not category specific in terms of locations. And so they are spread out around the various neighborhoods, but go ahead and use that exhibitor search feature and filter down to antiques. You will see there's the Antique and Design Center in the Suites at Market Square. And so you'll find that there. And then Jessica, what neighborhood is that where there's several antique vendors all together next to this?
So there's Chelsea on Green, which is in the neighborhood Russell and Green. It's in the neighborhood Russell and Green, and it's called Chelsea on Green. That is another multi-tenant building with lots of antique vendors inside. There's also the Boxwood Antique Market in the Hamilton Red North area that has some good antique options. And that's just to name a couple. So like Ashley said, antiques is a filter on our website. So you can search through that and really use that to filter down those results. And I want to say I was looking at the Cool Girls Guide to Market when they posted it online, and she had an antique section on that. So if you're going to that Cool Girls Guide new buyer roundtable at the Point on Friday at 2 p.m., she's probably going to cover some cool antique stuff in that roundtable as well.
Great questions for sure. Was one thing I was.
Do you recommend dinner reservations ahead of time for restaurants? Absolutely, I do. High Point and the whole Triad area does get quite busy during market. This is actually one of the largest events in the state. We're the largest home furnishings trade show in the world. So restaurants do get busy. So I do recommend those reservations, especially if it's in the High Point area. Greensboro and Winston maybe are a little less important, but why mess around with food when you're already hungry? I think making the reservations is the best way to go. Should we save any time for vendors in the local area that are open year round? I think that's a great idea. I think we always encourage people to take one of those days and save it for exploring. I mean, you're going to have regular manufacturers that you already plan on visiting, that you have your appointments with, but save a day for exploring. So some of those vendors that are open year round are great stops on that day, as well as some other market exhibitors are great stops for an exploring day. So that's a very great question.
One note back to antiques. I will say, if you're coming to shop antiques, do that very first thing when you arrive, because of course those are one of kind pieces. And so you don't want to get in there on Tuesday. It's the first time you're looking for antiques. You're going to see a lot of sold tickets.
Mm-hmm.
We have talked about shippers. There are some shippers here. You can look in the exhibitor directory or visit one of the info booths when you get here, and they can outline that. Cordell, in terms of booking a one-way ticket, the discount codes that we have on our website, I'll encourage you to reach out to Travel Quest about that. They can certainly look at the best prices.
Mm-hmm. We do currently have 2 discount codes for airlines on our website. I want to say it's United and Delta. I'd have to look at the website to double check that. And that changes every market, depending on, what we're able to secure discount code wise. So be sure to check that every time. We do offer a few airline discount codes, but, Travel Quest knows all that information too, to Ashley's point.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the Q&A. I want to be conscientious of everyone's time today, and we are over our 60 minutes. But a lot of the information that all of the information that we discussed today is on the website. I am going to be sending you a follow-up email. I think Zoom's sending it tomorrow, and we'll be putting links to a lot of the things that we discussed today. But highpointmarket.org is the website. If you have any additional questions, we'll pop up our phone number here to our market advisor in just a minute. Before we go, though, I do have one more poll. Lindsay, if you want to go ahead and throw that up. We asked you all when you registered how confident, how prepared you felt for working High Point Market. Hopefully that's increased a little bit, and we've answered a lot of your questions today, but if you could go ahead and answer that really quick, that'd be helpful to know. And we'll see what that looks like. Thank you, Lindsay. If you'll go ahead and close that out and pull up our last slide. Thank you for that. Oh, good. We did move the needle on that. I'm so glad that you feel prepared and ready to go for market. If there's anything else we can be doing, we have our market advisors, as we've mentioned. Give them a call, 336-869-1000. They can answer your questions now. They can answer questions during market. We also are welcome to email us, info@highpointmarket.org. If it's registration related questions, registration@highpointmarket.org. And of course, hopefully you have the dates on your calendar already. And if you want to go ahead and put fall on there, it is October 14th through the 18th. But thank you so much for joining us here today. I hope that this answered a lot of your questions, and we cannot wait to see you in High Point in just a few weeks. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. See you soon.